speak about, seems to be a question about how real estate reps get paid. So real estate reps get paid commission for a service rendered. Us realtors are governed by what's called REBA 2002, which are rules and regulations, and then the code of ethics. So off the bat, there's no verbal agreement on commission. It has to be on paper. So what kind of paper? So you're a seller and you're going to sell your home. So you need a frank and detailed discussion of expectations on everything, including payment. So what are you going to pay the realtor? Now, the realtor, there's no law or regulation as to commission. The only law is that it's upfront, everyone agrees on it, and it's in paper. So how do we do that? We do it with a listing agreement. So listing agreement is Form 200. Form 200, number 2 clause stipulates the commission is paid to what's your total commission. So there's a line for that. And what does that mean? That total commission is the total amount that the seller is going to be paying the listing brokerage. Under that is actually another space where it's specifying what payment is made to the buyer rep or the seller rep, in essence. Now, if the listing agent or listing rep represents both the seller and the buyer in an offer situation, in a purchase situation, then that's called multiple representation. Irregardless, all these things have to be in paper. So Form 200 is a start. Now, if there's a special deal where they've said, okay, well, if you make me, if you sell my house for, say, $600,000 and it doesn't go under that, I'm going to pay you what's on the front page of the listing agreement. But say you only get me $580,000. So $580,000, I'm going to only pay you this much. And sometimes listings are that way. They're usually not complicated, but everything can change and everything is negotiable. So say that happens. It says, well, I'm only going to pay you this much. Where does that information go? That goes on Schedule A of the listing agreement. Brokerage has that information. So FinTrack, the government body that checks out things, and then the brokerage is compliant. So is the representative. So say, for instance, and then who pays that? So the seller usually pays our commissions. And commissions run in Ontario anywhere between 4 and 6%. In Niagara, it's usually between that amount. Most higher reps will charge 5 to 6%. That's what they do. What does that actually mean? It means that's the total amount that a seller will pay. No more, no less. So that means you're basically paying that amount. And plus, unfortunately, the government gets the cut. So as it's a service, like a lawyer, like a hairdresser, there'll be HST on top of that. Sorry. We didn't make the rules. Please talk to the government. So with that in mind, say you're in the middle of an offer and the offer is accepted and then there's a further reduction needed, say perhaps for a home inspection. There's something in the home inspection and the buyer, maybe it's an amount of like $2,500 or $2,000, say. Let's keep it even with zeros. So $2,000. So there's an abated amount or reduction of $2,000 needed for that house to make the deal firm, because you're still conditional on home inspection or whatever the condition you put in. If it's on home inspection, let's use that example. So it needs an abated amount of $2,000. The seller goes, nope, I'm not paying for it. And I'm not reducing my house anymore. Nope, not doing it. And I've found that case. So sellers are saying, no, I've broken the bank. Like, this is the amount I need to move forward. You need to get me that amount. The buyer rep, on the other hand, is saying, well, I'm not going to pay for that. I paid for this house this amount. And that's all I'm comfortable paying. So that $2,500 or $2,000 has to be paid by someone. Well, that might be at a certain amount of time. Sometimes those realtors will, the buyer rep and the seller rep will get together and they'll say, okay, well, why don't we reduce $1,000 each plus HST? Where would that information go? That information is no longer on the confirmation cooperation. So when you have an offer in place, you're all in agreement that the seller, buyer, seller rep, buying rep agrees on the confirmation cooperation that they're going to get paid a certain amount. It has to, again, be in writing, signed and initialed by all parties. But what if that happens? So that is a further abatement. Well, that would have to be placed in an amendment because you're deviating now from the original agreement during the offer on the confirmation cooperation. That's already set in place. You cannot go back and change documentation that's been sent to your brokerage. The proper way of doing it then for any type of abatement, whether it be commission or by reducing the amount and abating the amount by that $2,000, would be on an amendment. So that form is shown now. So those are the ways we get paid. Now, there are some brokerages that do flat fees. Brokerage like 1% will actually state that the commission for the buyer or seller rep is going to be a flat fee plus HST because that's what the seller has agreed upon. It is their right to dictate that. And as an ethically minded realtor, we're also obligated to show houses that may have less commission. That is what some reps do. They'll shy away from less commission and push their buyers towards something else that is highly illegal and highly unethical. It's basically, hey, buyer, you like this house? You like this house? Which one suits you best? That is our job, an ethical duty, to show all houses, irregardless to what commissions are being paid. And then how does the payment get to the brokerage? Well, the payment will all go in one lump sum as part of your adjustments from your lawyer. Usually it's all electronic. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to worry about anything. As long as you've agreed to it, you've signed your documentation with your lawyer, you've agreed with what's been presented to you in paper form from the representative. So now as a seller, you're going to be paying that amount out as part of an adjustment. That will go right from the time of closing, and when monies have exchanged hands for your home, you get your check. The lawyer's going to adjust the amounts for his or her services, HST, and for the brokerage and anything else that has been agreed upon that needs to be paid out. So then your final amount that comes to you has been adjusted and you don't owe any money to anyone because you're done. You're all tickety-boo, good to go. That in a nutshell is how a realtor gets paid. So if you have any more questions about that or want to know more, please like, share, DM me, call me, and I will explain more to you. Okay, great. Have a great day.